I'm Greg Tepper. That's Greg Powers. This is This Week
in Cruton.
It's This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers, the Next Level Athlete. Follow him on Twitter at GPowersScout. Follow Next Level Athlete on Twitter, Next Level D1. See his fine work at TexasFootball.com/recruiting. And, of course, this is brought to you by our good chicken friends at Chicken Express. Chicken Express, just eat the gravy.
But put
the chicken and rolls with it. Don't just eat the gravy.
You know what?
I guess you could.
You know what? I don't think. Give me a spoon.
Yeah, with the salt in it.
Give me a spoon. Yeah, the serendipity salt was a real game changer that you turned me on to.
Yeah.
What day will you be? What day will you be back to a Chicken Express?
It's gonna be like another few weeks. I'm on the hardcore diet train right now.
But that should be your first. That should be your first.
It really might
be.
Meal. It might be. It might
That's
be
good.
like a Friday lunch.
Yeah.
Do big lunch.
I won't post today's Chicken E picture in the editorial slide.
Did you go to
please
Chicken E
do.
today?
Huh?
Are you going to Chicken E after this?
You know, I could.
You should.
It's always in. There's something about being sponsored by Chicken Express that inspires you to go there.
It does.
It tastes better.
Well, the other thing is that by the way, I should just tell you that you too can have this kind of love on the podcast if you want to sponsor a segment here.
Yeah.
But I'll also say
you have to
that
be as good as Chicken E.
Like the contract with Chicken Express, I'll just blow up our entire business model. Our contract with Chicken Express does not require us to do this. All we have to do is mention that it's presented by Chicken Express. If I say This Week in Recruiting presented by Chicken Express, we have satisfied the contract. This is out of legit love for Chicken Express.
Yeah, y'all's wives are probably like, I wish they talked about us like this.
I know,
you know?
right?
It's funny that you say that. It's funny that you say that because I think my family generally watches the show to see what I'm going to say about Chicken Express.
Mrs. Powers is like, man, I wish he talked about me like he does.
Shout out
Tenders.
Mrs. Powers and shout out Chicken Express. In some sort of order. You put them in the order you want. It's This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers, the Next Level Athlete. A lot to get to. We're going to start with our prospect on the rise, and I thought this was a really under the radar move, and that is that 2023 Corpus Christi Miller wide receiver Lonnie Atkinson has committed to Sam Houston, picking the Bearcats over offers, a couple of FCS offers like Texas Southern most notably. Dude, he had a P5 offer from Washington State, and Sam Houston's going to keep him home. This is a huge coup for Casey Keeler and the Bearcats.
I think this is a really big pickup. Sam Houston is doing an amazing job on the recruiting trail this season. As a matter of fact, we were kind of I was talking with Mike Craven before we came on the air, just kind of recapping what the class is like this year. They have 5 commits in the class right now that we've rated FBS and higher. Mm-hmm. They have 3 commits, Lonnie Atkinson, Zachary Session, AJ J-Rowe, that we have a P5 grade on. They're killing the game right now, and I think this is the best of the bunch. A kid who I never really understood. I felt like he was going under the radar a little bit, and I cheated the system somewhat this week to make him a prospect on the rise. He's risen. He's already risen. Over 3,000 yards the last 2 seasons. Receiving yards. He could flip over and play on the defensive side of the ball if you wanted him to as well. But why?
Yeah. Why don't you just make the whole plane out of him? I mean, this guy has been a superstar receiver for the last 2 seasons. He's a superstar receiver down there for Miller. He figures to have another big year for them. I love this kid. I think he's going to be a star and at the next level. And I think that this is for a program like Sam Houston, who is going to play their first FBS season next year. This is proof that they're not here to just play around. There's no happy to be here for Sam. They are serious business right now.
We're working on a little bit of an article kind of talking about Sam and SFA's recruiting classes. I don't want to give away anything, but I'm still in the middle of doing some research. I feel like Sam Houston's classes this year is getting them well prepared for that move up, and I think that they've had better classes than North Texas, Rice, UTEP, Texas State. This class is better than what I would probably say the last 3 or 4 classes for all those schools have been. Rice had a really good signing class 2 years ago, though, so I'd like to really dig in behind the numbers there to see if that – and it's going to be hard to probably pick between the two, but Sam's right up there, and I think that is patting them on the back and they deserve it for what they've done on the recruiting trail in the class of 2023 in state. They also picked up a commitment this week from 6'4", 300-pound offensive lineman Zachary Session, who's really good.
Okay, that seems good too. Do those things.
All good. No notes.
Good job, Casey Keeler and the Bearcats getting a commitment from Lonnie Atkinson, the wide receiver at Corpus Christi Miller. Let's continue on to our commit of the week. Our commit of the week, we're going to Marlin, talk 2A football, talk about their superstar. We have him listed as defensive end, linebacker, receiver, does a little bit of everything. It is Darian Gillette. Darian Gillette is now committed to the Texas Longhorns. He had offers from all over, most notably from A&M, Alabama, Florida, Miami, Ohio State, and Oklahoma. We have him rated as the number 19 prospect in the DCTF Hot 100. A star at the 2A level. He'd be a star at the 6A level. He is a freak show. Now, he's battling through injury right now, I believe, and is likely to miss the 2022 season. But that does not change the prospect that the Texas Longhorns are getting.
Also transferred to Teague.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah,
transferred
to Teague. So if he does get back on I don't think he will.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was a very late injury for him coming off of like the Rivals camp or something like that. He hurt his knee. Mm-hmm. Some sort, or 7-on-7, something like that. Some sort of national.
There's sometime in early
summer. It was
summer,
right before the state 7-on-7 that I think that news broke. But this is a huge commitment for Texas. Another story I'm working on right now is to try to take a look at the players who are in the 5-star mix, right? He's number 19 in the DCTF Hot 100. The top 5 players in state will all be 5 stars. We have 3 right now with DJ Hicks, Ruben Owens, and Anthony Hill. Number 4 on that list is Jonte Cook. Number 5 on that list is Javian Toviano from Arlington Martin right now. Those are the guys who are the odds-on favorites to pick up one of the last 2 5-stars. But if he didn't have this ACL injury, I think that Goulet would have been like the dark horse, right? Like a guy you're talking about outside of the top 10, from 10 to 25 or 11 to 25, who could be a guy that would be in the mix for 5-star status based on a huge season. This is the type of kid who could have been there because of his overall athleticism. You're talking about a guy who racked up, I think, over 1,400 receiving yards last year. He was an all-state punter. He's a freak defensive player, and he was the best, or one of the best players on one of the best basketball teams in the state, with amazing dunking prowess. Like he plays above the rim, everything. I mean, this guy has a little bit of everything. And I think once he gets settled in at one position, and I think he's probably like a edge defender at the next level, outside linebacker hybrid type, probably get after the passer a little bit, and chase plays out to the flats. Really high upside there with his overall athleticism. Huge pickup for Texas, who continues to do a really good job on the recruiting trail in the class of 2023, one of the best classes in the country, and Goulet is just another key member of it.
It's important to get there for them. I'll always refer to him as a Marlin player because I don't think he's going to play for Tig.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
it's
just
tough.
Gonna be like, it's going to be weird, but like I guess I do have to refer to him as
you have
Tig
to say,
defensive end.
You have to say it, but I mean, to me, he's Marlin in my mind too.
Exactly.
He's still got his Marlin jersey on in his profile pic. I don't know if we'll get one for his new school or not. I don't know.
It's This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers, Next Level Athlete here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation, hashtag TF Today. Let's move on to our underclassmen of the week. Our underclassmen of the week, let's bounce up to the DFW Metroplex, talk about 2025 Red Oak wide receiver Taz Williams. Taz Williams has a couple of scholarship offers now, one from Penn State and one from Texas A&M. Quite a way to start your recruiting, and a lot of it comes off of his really impressive performance at the Next Level Athlete Top 100 Showcase in Dallas.
He didn't stop there. That was like the first camp that he came to. He had a really good sub-varsity season, but didn't play up on the varsity team. Credit to the coaches at Red Oak who were all over this one, tipped me off about him, let me know of the name prior to camp season. He came out and really had a strong performance, not only in the drills but in one-on-ones. I think that he won most of his one-on-one reps versus a lot of upperclassmen with varsity experience. We don't invite a whole lot of freshmen, and he was one of the few who were able to come out, and he performed admirably. He was able to showcase his footwork in the drill work and get separation with his routes. Really impressed with his hands, and he's gotten better since then, because that's when I think he kind of ignited a spark within himself, and he went on a torrid run throughout the rest of camp, combine, and 7-on-7 season. And I think he's going to be a pretty big piece of the Red Oak offense. As a matter of fact, when you get Texas A&M as your first offer, that's a pretty huge indication that some things are going in the right direction, and Penn State immediately followed up to offer him a scholarship on the same day. So things are trending in a very good direction there in Red Oak for Taz Williams.
Taz Williams, the Red Oak wide receiver, is a name to know for the class of 2025. So, yes, that does mean he'll be playing his sophomore season this year. Let's round it all out with our recruit of the week. Our recruit of the week is Bravion Rogers, the LaGrange cornerback, soon-to-be senior cornerback. We have not talked about him for a while because he's been committed to Texas A&M for a while. He decommitted this week. Even being committed to A&M, the scholarship hours didn't stop coming in. He's got a number of them now, 21, including Alabama and LSU. This is a bona fide burner at there. One thing that I think is really interesting, this is a guy who, in Bravion Rogers, I saw it too. He leaped over a guy just like he was just like stepping over an ant. But the thing for me about Bravion Rogers is he had been pretty vocal on social media about like helping recruit A&M players to A&M. So this is, I mean, look, he's a great player. He's the number 21 prospect in the DCO Hot 100. I wonder if this has even bigger ramifications for an A&M recruiting, for the A&M recruiting class. Not that they are particularly struggling right now. Yeah,
they're not struggling. It was actually kind of a shock. This is one that kind of came out of nowhere. I don't think a lot of people saw this one coming, that he was going to pull the trigger on a decommitment. LSU, there's a lot of smoke right now with LSU. Mm-hmm. We'll just say it like that. I think they've really turned the heat up in his recruitment. And I think that's the one school to probably keep the closest eye on. And some guys feel like if they're going to be looking around at other schools, the right thing to do is decommit. And I think I might agree with that. Mm-hmm. Frame of mind. Why stay on a commitment list if you're going to be taking a strong look at other programs? It doesn't seem to be 100% honest. You're basically trying to RSVP a spot while you're courting other people. So I don't blame him for making a decommitment here and to take a look at some other programs, make sure that he made a sound decision. And it seems like Texas A&M is still in the thick of this one as well, so it's not like they're out of the game, so to speak. So I think Texas A&M and LSU are still probably the two most likely landing spots. I will, however, preface that with saying it isn't often that a recruit decommits and then winds back up at the same team. It happens, but it's not a common occurrence. Yeah. So I would probably say that LSU might be the favorite at this point in the race, but there's still a lot of time left in this one, and I got to think that he's going to take a strong look to try to make sure that he only makes one more decision before the early signing period in December. Yeah, whoever gets Bravion Rogers will be getting a star, most certainly, the number 121 prospect in the DCTF Hot 100, a certified 5-star. Nice. Greg Powers, Next Level Athlete. Follow him on Twitter, GPowerScout. Follow Next Level Athlete on Twitter, Next Level D1. See his fine work at TexasFootball.com/recruiting. Powers, thanks for your time, buddy. Stick around. I need you to introduce the next segment. Okay. I don't know how to do that. Okay. So that'll be helpful. I'll be here.
Thanks so much for watching that video. If you would like more and to be notified when they come out, go ahead and click that subscribe button right down there. You can also watch Texas Football Today every day live at noon on TexasFootball.com, Facebook, Twitch, and right here on YouTube. For more of the best coverage of Texas football in the Lone Star State, go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe.